welcome. We're so happy to be spending our late afternoon and early evening out here in Pahoa with all of you. Thank you very much for coming and attending tonight. It's our meet and greet, the Mayor's Administration community meeting. So, I know a lot of you, we came out, we saw a lot of the problems with traffic and everything. And so, we're experts in that area now. But anyway, I know you didn't come here to hear me talk. So at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Mayor Kimo Alameda.
All right, All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity to come and share with you our team. I see our representative here too. Thank you, Iligan, for being here, Gregor. Yeah, so, it's been a journey. The last time I was here, I was campaigning. Mitch and I were debating. I recognize some of you from that time. So, for those of you who voted for me, thank you so much. If you never vote for me, that's okay. All right, we're on the same team now, right? We're just trying to get things done for you folks. And that's our job, right? We work for you. So this is our, 15th, 14th town hall. We've been all over the island, everywhere. In 2 weeks, we go to Lapoihoi. And that'll be our 15th or 16th town hall. And that's pretty much the whole island. And then we'll spend the next year just working like crazy. Because we have a to-do list. Every time we go to a town hall, we have a to-do list. This town hall, we didn't even start yet again on to-do list. So that's okay. So, Eileen, good to see you. And that's good. That's what we're supposed to do, right? We're supposed to hear your concerns, prioritize it, and just work hard to get it done. And that's our approach. And so far, I think we've done more in 4 months than some administrations has done in 4 years. So thank you so much. And we cannot do it without a team. So we've been to, like I said, every place, and this team is unbelievable. We're just so lucky. Every once in a while you get one team and all of a sudden get chemistry. So get 20 departments. As the mayor, I can appoint only 11 of those departments. The other 9, they're like commission or civil service. Like public safety, police commission, fire commission. Civil defense is a civil service position. HR is like they have a commission too. So, but the fact that we had 11 and 9 and we all get along, we all work together, that's super important because we cannot get things done if they don't like each other. And so far, they all like each other unless they're real good pretenders, And we're getting things done because of that. They're not afraid to call each other. They get stuck. Boom. Hey, they're not going to come to me. One call the other. All of a sudden, they're working together. Things getting done. So I want them to introduce themselves, what department they come from. And then what I'll do is we'll do a Q&A, but we'll do it like this. So I only get 2 rules in this. It's like everybody can ask some question. No problem. But you cannot ask your second question unless everybody else get one chance for ask their first question. So, fair, right? Also, if it gets kind of crazy for some reason and like there's so much animosity and we cannot get, like we feel like there's like too much vibes and they might break out in a riot, then I'll just stop the discussion and we'll just go one-on-one. So we're not going to leave. We'll just say, you know what, let's just stop. But if you have any questions, you can talk to any one of our directors directly. So we'll go for 1 hour straight, and then the last half hour, we'll leave it up for one-on-one anyways. Okay? So, because some questions is better off, like if you have a permitting question that's kind of deep, like you're wondering what defines a bedroom, because you heard 5 bedrooms equals 1 septic, or, well, what defines a bedroom? Is it 2 windows, no windows, a door? I don't know. That's kind of deep, so maybe you want to save that after for Jeff. No? You want to save it for Jeff. Or maybe you get a question about the parks. Maybe you're wondering what are the hours and how come the hours not this way or that way. And then maybe that's a question for Clayton. Okay, so if it's like that, then we can go that way. But I got to tell you, there's a lot of issues already that I know because I've been campaigning for 2 years and I've been hearing the concerns, and I've got advocates that are in the community. And, the recovery program, is a big deal. We can give you an update on that. We went down to Four Corners. I took Bill and we drove to Puʻiki. I'm so happy that on Monday, Puʻiki going to finally get their blessing for get their boat ramp. Thank you so much. So happy about that. That's awesome. Right, I'm also happy about the alternate route. We finally got the money on two sides to do that study. Thank you so much again for pushing that. Good job. Because that traffic's ridiculous. We got the water line going down. Okay, we got Four Corners is kind of stalled right now. They started, but we're just working on an agreement with one of the property owners. And once that's done, which is we're getting pretty close because it was kind of adversarial in the last administration. But our one is like, hey, we're just looking for the answer so we can move forward. And we're getting pretty close with that. So the recovery, I think it's coming along, but it still needs to move along. Okay, there's also the feral pig situation. So we get it. Pigs, right now pigs is kind of all over. I mean, we got a goat problem. We have our animal control director. Hey, Matt, poor guy. There's so much animals that are out of control. We don't know which animal to start with first. But we do have a cat problem, a pig problem, we got a dog situation. Right now we get the goats up Mauna Kea and the sheep and chickens. So we can talk about that too today. Mass transit, we got our mass transit. We got our mass transit guy here. We got the support in the back too. So if you got questions about that, the bus routes, adding some of that. The Pahoa Village Master Plan, working on that. We can give an update on that. Of course, crime. Anybody from police today? Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much. We got Officer. What is the official title? Always, because you get lieutenant, you get chief. Assistant chief. There we go. Okay, I was just going to call him chief already, but all right, Kiocho, thank you for being here. And then we got roads and then zoning kind of questions, right? So we have a lot to talk about, okay? So again, what I'll do is I'll start from here. We go this way, and then I'll go over there. And when I get there, if there's time, if we didn't hit an hour, then we come back, and we just go in that orderly fashion like that. And so any question. So you can ask a question or you can make a statement. Because what I find in these groups, really, you guys, very few of you guys get questions. Most of you guys, you just get statements, okay? You just get an opinion, and you cannot wait to just share it. That's okay too. We don't mind hearing it. Just let me know if it's a question or a statement. Okay. So you can hold this for me, Keith. Okay. All right. We're gonna start. Okay. We're gonna start here then by the wall. Okay. Go ahead. Question or statement? Half. Okay. Go.
I'm here in support of buying the 10-acre parcel for the transit hub and the new library. I've had a chance to talk to Zach, and he was able to fill me in where things are progressing. My question is, are you looking in all nooks and crannies to find the money to buy that 10-acre parcel for the next step?
For the next step. Okay, Jeff, you like to answer that? One more time? I'll tell you what, how about we start here? Yeah, we go around. Introduce yourself and what department? And then we'll come back to that question.
Good evening, my name's Ken Kea'au. I'm the Assistant Police Chief for East Hawaii, which includes Puna all the way out to Hamakua. I'm the Operational Assistant Chief.
Hi, good evening. Keith Okamoto, Department of Water Supply.
Good evening. My name is Matt Reynolds, Administrator for Animal Control.
Aloha, Ke'au Costa, Housing Administrator.
Aloha, Laura Ocasio, Office of Sustainability, Climate, Equity, and Resilience. Hi, Aunty.
Hi, folks. I'm Zach Burgum, Acting Administrator for Mass Transit Agency. Also with me is Jen in the back. Say hi. She's the Transit Fleet and Facility Manager. Good evening.
Kazuo Todd, Fire Chief.
Aloha, Jeff Darrow with the Planning Department, and with me is Michelle Ahn. She is our Deputy Director. Thank you.
Aloha, Talmadge Magno, Civil Defense Administrator.
Hello, good evening again. Bill Brahanti, Managing Director.
Aloha, Merrick Nishimoto, Deputy Managing Director out of West Hawaii. And I want to say thank you. I see some very familiar faces. Looking forward to reconnect and also looking forward to making some new friends. Thank you.
Aloha, I'm Wes Segawa, Director of the Department of Environmental Management. Good to see all of you this evening.
Good evening. My name is Corey Stone with Information Technology Director.
Hi, Dennis Lin, Deputy Director for Research and Development.
Hi, everyone. Renee Schoen with the Corporation Council.
Craig Kawaguchi, Deputy Director, Environmental Management, and I'd like to introduce our new Solid Waste Chief, Mike Rivera, in the back. It's been 3 years since we had a permanent person.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Diane Nakagawa of Finance. We also have with us our Deputy Finance Director, Malia Kekai, in the back.
Hi, everybody. I'm Summer Tokihiro, Director of Human Resources.
Hi, everyone. Clayton Honma, Parks and Recreation. With me, I have Deputy Director Melissa Samura here.
Aloha mai kako, everyone. I'm Benson Medina. I'm the Director of Research and Development.
All right. Switch. Okay, so let me back up a little bit before we answer that question. So just so you know, my background, right? Okay, so I'm a psychologist by training. So, you know, I'm real good at these kinds of talk stories, you know, bringing people together. I used to be a family therapist. You know, I work with planning local families, couples therapy, individual therapy. I was a school teacher, special education teacher. That's kind of my background. And then I moved to health. So I ran the Bay Clinic Health Center for about 5 years. I initiated the merger between Bay Clinic and the West Hawaii Community Health Center. So now they're Hawaii Island Community Health Center. So once I initiated that merger, because we were having a hard time finding doctors and nurses and dentists and mental health practitioners, so that gave us double capacity. And so once I did that, then I stepped away and I ran for office. So I've been around a lot. The fourth generation Portuguese and my Hawaiian side go back 1,500 years. So, but I'm not an attorney. And I don't have the historical knowledge. So Bill Berhante, my managing director, he's worked under 8 mayors. Almost 30 years, you know, was the HR director for Mitch. He retired. I brought him back out of retirement. Okay, so, and he adds that balance to my knowledge, which I don't have. I'm not an engineer. And so I'm looking for an engineer because we got a lot of projects that got to be built. Boom, boom, boom. So I look to Merrick Nishimoto, who's my deputy. He's from Kona. So he's making sure that we get some equity. Okay, geographic equity again on Big Island. But he also has an engineering background. So our departments are broken up organizationally into like pods. So you get the public safety pod, police, fire, civil defense, animal control, liquor control, prosecutor. Okay, and kind of like a liaison from the mayor's office is my executive assistant. His name is Mr. Victorine. Where is he? Not here today. Oh, right there, Clifford. So, because he was a police officer in the past, he worked corp counsel, so he get kind of like a little bit content knowledge. Because mayor cannot be everywhere. It's a big department, you know, it's a lot of departments. Okay, so that's public safety. Then I get building and infrastructure, that pod. So that's water department, that's public works, that's environmental management, that's planning department, you know, and so I get Merrick kind of overseeing that. He's the engineer. Not overseeing, but kind of like the liaison, right? So he gives me the scoops, he get content knowledge, boom. So everything got to be organized. That's kind of how I work. And then we get departments that serve other departments. It's like support services. So that's finance, that's IT, that's corp counsel, the attorneys, that's, you know, research and development. You know, that's Benson, that could be Oscar, our environmental department expertise. Yes, right there. So that's departments that serve other departments. And then there's the departments that missing one more, that serve you folks, like Office of Aging, Parks and Recreation, Housing, Transportation. And overseeing that department, I have Erin in the back. Erin, raise your hand real fast. Yeah, so she's the liaison. So she's a health czar. She was a pharmacist. She used to run Walgreens back in the day. You remember when it was next to Ross's? They closed. I put her into Bay Clinic. She ran our pharmacy program, so she understands health. Because good Parks and Recreation is really health. People say, Kimo, how come you guys don't know mental health? I say, we get mental health. When you get one park that's open, and one beach that's clean, and one field and one gym that kids can play, that's mental health. Why? Because the kids are at practice, and the parents is, thank God, I can get 2 hours for break before they come back home. right? And the kids get to play and they get to get out their stress and coaches can coach, you know, and that's mental health, really. That's good for kids. Okay, and so we got to make sure that those beaches are open, that those parks work, that there's not closed and there's bathrooms are fixed and such. And that's how our department's all broken up. So you know that we're not just willy-nilly and it's all, you know, disorganized. We're super organized. That's how I always been. And wherever I've been as an executive or a CEO, I worked for the Office of Aging. I was the executive, same way. So we're super organized, and maybe that's why we're getting things done. So going back to your question, go.
Well, and again, having worked for the state for many years, I've learned patience.
Okay.
So thank you for that. And again, the transit hub and the library are going to share the 10 acres on the other side of Punakai. The state library system is ready with, if I'm not mistaken, $1 million for the plans, but we're waiting for the go-ahead to have the transit hub built. And again, having gotten some good information from Zach, but at the same time, in these tight budget times, are you going to be able to move forward with the money?
Okay, we got our finance director here, and we got Zach. What's the update on that? Can we get Zach to share a little bit? Transit hub, library, the whole nine.
Yeah, Gaila, it was really good talking to you earlier. I really appreciate that. One thing you didn't ask about was funds. So the most recent grant that we did get awarded to us was for $270,000, and that's going to go toward the planning and design of it. Like I mentioned earlier with you, we're really in the initial phases of it. So with that, there's a categorical exclusion that needs to be done. And right now, currently, that's at the federal level. So I anticipate a couple more months until that goes through, and then we'll be able to move to the next phase, which would be land acquisition, which would come out of a different pot of money. But to answer your question, yes, we're always looking at different ways to find more money to fund this as we go.
Is there a ballpark figure how much that parcel is going to cost?
I don't have a ballpark. No, not right now.
Thank you for your question. Okay, I'm going to go like this. So this line, once I pass you, you know, I'm not going to ask backwards. Okay, go, ma'am. You bet. Yeah. Could you give us a tiny update about how that's going? Okay. Back to you, Mr. Transportation.
Yep. So we just talked about the hub, right? So the hub wouldn't just be a transit facility. Like Gaila and I were talking about earlier, we're also looking for it to be kind of co-located with a library. So there's a lot that goes into this. Also maybe a daycare facility as well. But we're going to have state entities as well as us, county, you know, for this development. So there's going to be a lot of moving parts with it. It's going to take a little time because it's not just county and state. Everything also needs to go up to the federal level as well. So it's going to take a little bit of time. Absolutely, it's going to happen. Yeah, absolutely. And just one other thing to just add with that, that doesn't just end it, right? So another thing that we're looking at, what we kind of need to do, the last phase with public transportation in the rural area is microtransit. And basically this is where vans would go and get the people that live off of the beaten path, bring them to the main line where the bus stops are, you know, the official bus stops are. They can catch the bus and then proceed into Hilo or wherever they're going. So that's in our budget for this year too. So yeah.
Thank you. That's okay. Go. You might be going over your quota, but that's okay.
I've lived in Pahoa since 2000. I don't know where the time went, but one of the things that I can tell I've been here for such a long time is all the cars. So I'm really looking forward to the buses and the vans, like you say, and get so many people to where they need to go.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you. All right, Steve, hit us up.
We're trying to build a hospital out here.
Yeah, I know.
You know. We've knocked on it many times. And what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Here's my number, 808-345-9280. That's the best way. It's my personal cell. Well, that's your fault. Now you can't have it. Too bad. 808-345-9280. It's been always my number since I started the campaign 3 years ago. I haven't changed it. You bet. Okay, working my way. Yes, Eileen, go ahead.
A question, since we're on the topic of the bus.
Okay.
And this is something that could be fixed now before the hub and everything. You have the main route with all the feeders coming into Punakai Shopping Center and picking up the direct to Hilo bus. That leaves at 6:30 in the morning. Because of all the great traffic that we have on Highway 130, it doesn't get to the main bus station in downtown Hilo until after 7:45. Alert! Hilo is our workforce, and many people work for the state, county, and even in the private sector. They all start at 7:45. So nobody can take the bus and get to work on time. I know my partner's been trying. He even bought a motor scooter so he could get up to the police station where he works from the bus station, but he can't get there on time. And so is there a way to move that up like 15, 20 minutes? Because you would get a lot more workers. And
Move it up. So right now it's 7:45. Move it up to like 7:15.
Well, it leaves at 6:30.
Oh, like 6:15 or something. What do you think, boss?
Okay, yeah, I mean, I think that there's ways that we can actually look at modifying different routes and whatnot. Tell you what, after this, let's talk story a little bit about, different options. That would allow me to take it back and talk with my team, and that way we can get a little bit further with it. Yeah, and also, it's not just also the workforce, too. A lot of people also depend upon it when it comes to students as well. So, they're kind of a double-edged sword sometimes. When you make one decision, this is the consequences of that. But I would really appreciate if we could talk, a little bit offline, and I can take down your information. And
yeah.
Perfect.
My comment was this, what the mayor was holding in his hands was a list of Puna issues. If you all saw the Facebook post from Rebecca Martel on May 6th, there were 433 responses. What are the 3 top issues in Puna and what are the solutions? We ran it through ChatGPT. It did a nice summary. So if you want a copy of that, it's right here on the screen.
All right. Thank you for that, Eileen. Such a good advocate. That might conclude the meeting right there. Hey, we can go eat, everybody. No, by the way, there is refreshments after this. So once we hit the 1 hour, you guys can talk stories, we can eat, and it's going to be good fun. Okay, I'm stuck. I'm right here. Sorry, I'm not going to go back. Sarah.
This is mainly for civil defense.
Okay, civil defense. Civil defense. Okay, go.
Will you start bringing awareness to the problem happening every day in Hawaii and all over this world, where children at the time of divorce are alienated illegally from their loving mother or father, and they're put into the sex trade, the drug trade, their parts are used for organ donations, it's called parental alienation, and they're used and abused.
Okay.
And their loving mothers or fathers, money is stolen.
Okay.
And it happens
Okay.
every day all over.
Good.
Can we bring awareness to it so then we can have it ended?
All right, here's the question. So what Sarah said, can we bring awareness? So the kids who are at risk, Sarah said, like, hey, so when parents get divorced and there's some alienation, kids get at risk. They, and sometimes it's not just a divorce, it's maybe single parenting, or maybe it's regular parenting. It's just kids just start connecting with different other kids, and they get in trouble, or they get with the wrong crowd, and then they get with drugs, and then it kind of leads to sex trafficking, and then they're really at risk. Right. Oh, and then sometimes it's part of the parent situation, and they're all in it together. Yeah.
The parents and the judges and the corporations.
Okay. So we need to bring awareness. Yes. Okay. Well, we just brought awareness. Okay. Now ending it is going to be a tough one. So who do you want to direct that question to? We got the police over here. We get our attorneys over here.
You said we all work together. Why don't we all work together? Get some kind of email or
Right.
something to the courts or whoever you think
Okay.
to end it. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. I got you. I got some numbers for you. After this, I got an answer for you after this. So thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm working my way. Yes, ma'am, go. I got you. Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. Yes. Permits. We might as well give one to each of our directors. Okay, so I can tell you. So our acting director is Neil Azevedo. He's not here tonight because he's probably paving a road. No, I mean that guy is one of our hardest workers. But I can tell you, we have a permitting task force because when I first came in, there was 5 major issues that like nobody could solve. It seems one was permitting. So I'm like permitting task force. That's what we need. And Merrick, our engineer, is the head of that task force. So he can talk a little bit about it. But also, just let me tell you this. We had animal control. We have a task force for animal control. We have a task force for HR because we have 500 plus vacancies. How can we get more people to work for the county? We have a task force for the cesspool conversion because the federal government said, hey, you got to go convert from your cesspool to a septic tank. But guess what? We're not going to help you with the funding. Huh? So how are we going to do that? So we have a task force for that, and then we have a task force for our homeless situation, which I see them in Pahoa and all over the Big Island. So those are 5 task force. They got objectives, they get timelines, and we're pushing the envelope on that. But for permitting, Merrick, take it away.
Okay, so great question. Just recently, we had the results of an audit. There was an internal audit for the permitting process. That was happening in parallel to we had brought on a consultant to also investigate. So first, you got to identify what the problem is. In order to fix something, figure out what it is. So there's a couple big things or low-hanging fruit that we want to address. So one is manpower within the Department of Public Works, which is the front end or the clerks. So we identified one of the slower areas in the process, which is intake, where the clerks bring in the permits, process it, for the plan reviews to look at it. So we're actually in the process of allocating a new position for one more clerk in the process that should really help with that bottleneck. Another portion of the process which has slowed things down is the sheer volume of permits that go through the system. So what is the biggest chunk of those permits that go through the system? One of the biggest chunks that is easy to fix is PV. Photovoltaic permits. So we are also in the process of trying to simplify that to even make it so it's more of a automatic approval or some type of fee so that it will not be in the actual permitting system and that'll free up the actual more complex reviews. So more manpower and a change in the systems.
True story. So we got legislation for that because 30% of all permits, or close to 40, is mostly solar panels. But in some municipalities, we found they don't need permits. It's like an accessory. You know, it's like a TV. You know, if you put a TV on your wall, you don't need a permit. You know, but just for safety reasons, we thought we might put that under the electrical permit, so that it doesn't have to go through building. So so it's kind of like electrical. So if we can get that passed, that's a heavy load that will just be off the table, and now things are going to go faster. So, good question. Okay, I'm going to go here. Sorry, I'm not going to go backwards. I'm going to go here. I'll come back to you after, though. Yeah, go. Kristen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, so, Mary, you lecture how the codes work. So these codes come from the feds, right? Then they go to the state, and then they come to the county. So the county cannot change the federal code. So we cannot make it stricter, or we cannot make it less than what it already is. But we can negotiate, and we can negotiate. So we're going to negotiate big time with the state this time. Like, don't add any more, because the houses in 1980 is the same strong as the ones now. You know, that kind of thing, but yeah.
Yeah, so the building codes, there's the IRC, the IBC, International Residential Code, International Building Code. Those are 2 of the big documents that we use. So those are both federal and actually internationally recognized codes. So those codes then get adopted by the state. The state then dictates or tells the counties that they need to adopt it. But there is a portion in the process that when these codes are adopted, the counties can get into negotiations with the state to potentially make things a little easier, less restrictive. So for example, what we've heard a lot recently is there's energy codes which are more applicable to the mainland where you need insulation, roof sheeting, and all that stuff. We live in a tropical climate. How much insulation we need, right? Yeah. I live in one older house. I know my insulation. I'm pretty good. Yeah. So those types of things, we're looking at trying to get them out of the code. But it is a process, and we're looking into it.
Like double pane windows, 4x8 sheets on the roof now. You know, it's like all of that craziness. My dad's a plumber. So my other expertise is, so my dad's a plumber, my brother electrician, my son's a mason, my other son's a carpenter. So I'm really a blue collar guy. I just went to school every year because every summer I was the gopher. My dad, I was the guy who was digging all the ditches. And after that, my dad was like, you let go back to school. Yeah, let go back to school. So I just kept going to school. If there was a degree after a PhD, I would get that. But here I am. So you had a question. Okay, how about you, Alexis? Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. That's so crazy. You know, that's so crazy. I just like kind of wrap my head around it. Like, how are these people raised? Like, you just go to somebody's house that's not your house. You act like that's your house, and then when the owners come, you tell them, "Oh no, this is my house." Like, really? That's nuts. I know. I kind of believe it, but it's true. Who like tackle that one? What police look into too? It's a hard one, huh, Chief? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
We should be looking at the lease.
This one instance, they didn't show it to them, but I was told once they say there's a lease, then it's a he said, she said, and you got to go to court. So we've been in court for many months. They didn't leave on the ejection.
So I don't, what's going on with the court process then? I don't.
It's still in hearings. Because they keep
The court's going to say whether or not they're going to be evicted from the residence?
they keep changing, the people keep changing things, but they refuse to leave. But I'm just wondering what can your office
Well, yeah. Well, let's vote for everybody because that's a unique situation, right? So, right. Can I ask? So, what is the process? Somebody, you go home, all of a sudden you see somebody there, like, oh my gosh. Let me ask. So you call the police. Hey, somebody in my house.
Yeah, we're going to call the police and see what entitlement they have to the residence, what proof they have that they have any kind of ownership to it. Of course, if it's a criminal thing, we're going to do the cop stuff and get them out of there. Well,
Okay,
that's where they're going to investigate it.
Yeah.
Well, that's why there has to be some kind of investigation by the police to determine ownership. I'd like to talk to you outside of this forum because I don't.
That's a tricky
try
one.
to wrap my head around what you're talking about.
Okay.
I can't. Yeah.
Yeah, that's getting to the nitty gritty. So again, if it's a question for the nitty gritty, that might be good for after she could go through the process. So one question. You can ask your second question. Yeah. Can we change the law? We're not going to change the law tonight, but we've been working on trying to change that law for a long time. So, okay, I might be going back, Mrs. Allen. Oh, okay, I'm here. Okay, go ahead. Yes, knock yourself out. Aloha. Oh man, where's Bill? Bill was just talking about that. Bill was just talking about that. I know. I agree. We were stuck in traffic. And I said, Bill, how come we stuck in traffic? Because he said, because that's that roundabout. That's why. Not even the buses can go around. I'm with you.
Well, I'm glad you raised that question because Gregor's been sitting here so quietly. That's a state road.
All right,
we actually
Gregor.
had a discussion because I said, when we were coming out, I forgot my Hot Wheels car, and that's about the only thing that can go in that roundabout. So.
Okay, good. Gregor, take it away.
I think Mayor's also giving me supplemental pay because I'm now part of the administration.
That's right.
So, just real quick, I've been fighting to expand that roundabout because DOT is trying to install a roundabout on Maku'u and on Orchid Land. And I told them that before any new roundabouts is going to be constructed, we need to improve the Ainaloa roundabout. So the difficulty that I'm having is currently Ed's position is that we'll do everything all at once. And I'm like, I don't think that's possible.
Oh, boy.
So my position is still trying to expand the Ainaloa roundabout because we understand that traffic is really bad and congestion is really bad, and we need to address it first. So,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. That's right. Thank you. Why they never do them right the first time? Okay, I'm right. Okay, okay, there, woman in purple, go. Two things. Okay, go.
Geothermal and roads.
Okay.
So the geothermal, I really want to know safety
Mm-hmm.
is why, if we have a safety concern, why do we as the public have to call the plant who
Yeah.
denies whatever we say?
Right.
Oh, nothing's going wrong.
Yeah.
All the time, they are the ones that
Mm.
we report to.
Yeah.
Why isn't there something in
Like post something or.
report this?
Oh.
Because we used to be able to do it to civil defense.
Oh.
But then civil defense, something happened between civil defense and the geothermal
Oh.
that now we report to Mike.
Mike. Okay.
So, Koakini,
Yeah, yeah.
And he's always, oh, no, we haven't never even nothing.
Okay. 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 Oh, hi. Some highest voice. Nothing. Okay. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the reporting. Yeah. Yeah. Let me ask. I don't know. I guess Talmadge is our civil defense guy. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Talmadge, what is that? Go.
Thanks for the question. So nothing's changed at civil defense. We're still responsible for community safety. Yes, but understand if it's an acute issue, you got to call 911. If you need ambulance, medical, the fire department out here. You guys got big mosquitoes in Pahoa. And they have the equipment to do the testing. So if those are your issues, that's your go-to. But yeah, you still call the civil defense for other issues too.
Mm. Mm.
So again, like I said, if if you got a life emergency or medical emergency, you got to call 911. Okay, thanks.
Okay, we're working our way. Sorry, I stay on this side already. You guys are so patient. No, you guys are so patient. But thank you. I might come back to this side. Okay, but wait now. I stay over here now. So it's Candy, and then we're going up. Whoever gets past. Okay, go.
Okay, so I understand that
Yeah.
traffic is a complicated issue.
Yeah.
Because state highway.
Yeah.
I don't
County.
know an alternate route if that's a county issue. What is the county's part in all of that?
Yeah.
And what's the plan?
Yeah, yeah. So we have a study. I mean, another study. But, we want to know if, what does the experts tell us, if we should go lower or upper or combination. And while they're studying that, they're probably going to look at roundabouts and maybe the whole nine or no? Or just the alternate? Okay, okay. So it's a state road. Where does the county play? And how come we had to drop 1.5 million or something? Was that just because we love you guys? Oh, okay, okay. I know it took a chunk of change out of our budget, but it's not like.
So in 2021, when we had these town halls, oh yeah, by the way, so you have 15 town halls. Over the last 4 years, we have now 48 town halls only in Puna.
Nice job.
So this is the great way to do things.
Yes.
I agree with you, Mayor. So regarding the alternate route, in 2021, the number one issue was the alternate route. So we were able to secure $1.5 million. We were hoping by this year we would have contracted with that money that we got in 2021. But because what happened politically, it never went through. The money lapsed. And I want to just state that I think everybody knows what happened. So now I want to voice out that the legislative process is not over yet. The governor still has to sign HB 300, which is the budget. But what we have passed out of the House and the Senate is $1.5 million to do the study for Makaʻeo, for the alternate route, going to DOT instead of going to the county. But because of Representative Janae Capella and Chris Todd, they fought for Mauka, and they got $1 million from the state and a match with the county for another $1 million. So it's the same process in 2021, which it took me 3 years to get to that part. So the reason why I had to go there was because I couldn't convince DOT to do the study. So then I had to work with previous mayor to try to have the county do it. But the result is the result. So now we're in square one after those efforts. But we're moving forward.
So the question is, going forward, where are we going and when are we going to get there?
Yeah, so on paper, we have 4 routes. Like there's paper routes that were proposed. One is railroad, and everybody knows that. However, I'm not an engineer, and I'm not going to decide what the route is. Even knowing the process, Hawaiian Homelands oppose going through railroad. And so they have a community plan that states no access through railroad in their community. So that's why the study is needed. Just like how the Pahoa library and the transit hub, they needed to do a site selection. What this is pretty much a site selection. We need to determine what that route is that everybody in the community can agree on and move forward. Because once that's selected, then we try to build it out.
Yeah, then we design it, we put it out on RFP, contractors respond, they bid on it, and we select the contractor, and boom, it starts.
And just, I hope it happens in my lifetime.
Yeah, me too. We're pushing it. Bill. Yeah. Okay, I'm going up the ladder. Debbie, and then after. Okay. Okay.
It's not working. Okay. I can't tell you how many times they don't make the appointment because of transportation.
Like you mean like what kind of trans? So there's senior trans.
There's senior trans
Okay.
or they're disability trans.
Oh, disability trans. Okay.
So I don't know what the solution is. I don't even know
Okay.
what the problem is. It's not working in here.
Okay. So the question is, so I think this might be could be senior trans or go ahead.
You're talking about paratransit services, probably.
Okay. So let me repeat the question for everybody and for those who are watching. So the question is, how can we improve our services for those who have disabilities or have a medical issue, dialysis, they're getting from their house to the doctor and such?
So I'll talk about a couple different services to answer your question, but also to start off with the paratransit vans. So currently we have 7 paratransit vans at Mass Transit Agency. They run about 50,000 miles a year, and they're all just pushing over that 2-year mark, so they're all over 100,000 miles now with transmission issues. What I can tell you now is we have 9 paratransit vans that we've ordered, and they're all going to be coming inbound starting in the next couple of weeks and then trickling in after that, okay? So paratransit services Puna, Hilo, and Kona, all right? So you're going to see that impact just step 1. Another couple of services is HCEOC and coordinated services for the elderly. They can also all assist with that right there. So I just wanted to share that with you as well.
We're not going backwards. Yeah.
No, it's for paratransit services.
Island-wide?
Island-wide, correct.
Mm-hmm.
We understand that. Yep, we understand that. And that's why we're expanding and getting vehicles online now, so then we can then reevaluate that and see what other services that we can serve to the community as a whole. Yep. I don't know what you mean by private ones.
Like insurance, like private insurance. That's private insurance. You know how, like, if you some insurance carriers they give you transportation to the doctor and all, like HMSA and all depends. Yeah, what
it really all depends on what the insurance carrier is.
Yeah.
I don't know the specifics on that, but if you wouldn't mind, we could talk after this, and I can take down your information as well and get some further details. I think that would help out.
Thanks, Debbie. Okay, behind, go.
Okay, I deal with a lot of animals, including you, so I have some honey for you.
Wow, what is that?
So that's sweet as this, but this is about it.
Oh, honey. So wait, I gotta check with Corp Counsel if I can accept gifts. I can accept gifts. Oh, only if I can share it. Okay, I'm gonna share. Hey, everybody get honey tonight. Everybody get honey tonight. Thank you.
Animal control, because I do know from my legislative work with getting the bee legislation, our county codes and our state codes
Okay.
on animals. Our state code requires if you have a stray animal, you have to take it to Humane Society and Animal Control, which I did with Mom, Cat, and 5 kittens. And both said, no, we don't take. And actually, Animal Control said we don't take feral cats. There is no definition of feral in either the state or the county code. So
Okay.
that Matthew was wrong. Matthew told our legislative assistant at that point, Julie Loy's assistant, that part. And I told her that isn't. I had to read this county code
Okay.
definition. We need more animal control for feral, which are actually stray animals.
Okay.
Domesticated animals that are not owner-known.
Not pets. Okay.
Animal Control and Humane Society has to take, by state code, every animal someone brings in, because legally I cannot keep it in my house.
Okay.
If I want to, and I shouldn't let it go loose,
Okay.
especially and that is what actually Animal Control did tell us to do, let it go loose. I asked Susan,
Okay.
she said not a good idea.
Okay.
We need more veterinary staff. Animal Control right now is utilizing our free pet fix, which I give money to every volunteer. There are 35 volunteers. Animal Control throughout this last year has used pet fix to fix their animals. They have on budget for one. I have stated, because Matthew's stating to Julie Loy that they could use 2, they should have 2 vets, so that if one leaves after a few months, you
Right.
have backup.
Okay.
They need that coverage. It is insane not to have a vet there. I know that there's a vet shortage. We have discussed that. We should have a vet hospital in our state
Okay.
system, but that's not going to happen.
We get hard time finding regular doctors for humans. So, okay.
But Animal Control has to increase
Right.
the budget for 2 because they can't keep even 1.
Right.
And they have to not use pet fix.
Okay.
And that is by volunteers. 35 volunteers are working for our community.
Okay.
And they're taking
I didn't know his name was Matthew, but can Matthew respond? Yeah. Matthew. I call him Matt, but you know.
I answer just about anything. So.
Okay.
So yes, I mean we do utilize PetFix as one of our vendors. We also give a lot of money to them as well. So just in this year, we're giving out about $150,000 in grants to some of those organizations to make sure that they stay afloat. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and PetFix calls us on occasion when we actually when they have a shortage of people coming to their services, because when they actually schedule one of those events or one of those times, they pay for those veterinarians and the staff to come in, and when people don't show up, unfortunately, they're still paying for those services because they don't have their own staff, and so. That cost alone is an expense for them that is wasted if nobody shows up. And so a lot of times they will call us to bring animals over that need to be spayed and neutered within the county. And so.
Control has been there at 8 o'clock in the morning to begin.
Mm-hmm.
That is not their call. They were there, they scheduled. I dealt with you on that. That was not the case from the times I've seen them.
Mm-hmm. And we work with them to spay and neuter animals for the county. So any of the animals that we bring over are animals that were brought in.
Let me say this. Look like you guys have a nice conversation after this. Let me say this. We shouldn't have. I'm looking at this. I've talked to Matt, and I said, I don't know why the prior administration took on animal control. Should have left it with Humane Society. They're the experts. If we have to fund them double, because now it's in our care, and it's super hard. Super hard. So. And once we bring them into the county, they become government, civil service, go back private, really hard. If I could, I would. If I could, I would. So, like I said, we have an animal task force because that's a big issue. We're not going to solve that problem tomorrow. Like you said, you're correct. It's a catastrophe. You get it? Catastrophe. Okay. Okay. All right, I'm working my way back there. Go. I'm not going backwards, though. You wasn't here for the ruse. I'm going this way. I'll come back later to that. Go. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So sounds like your question for those who are watching is how can we make Pahoa a place where people can feel free to walk the sidewalks, to play, where they can gather, where they can, connect. Okay, well, first I think Pahoa, I don't think Pahoa is dead. You guys look alive to me. This is the most lively place on the Big Island, number one. You ever been to Punakai when you get Kalapana Aba band playing? Oh my goodness, how fun is that? So there are opportunities to engage and connect. This place right here, this Billy Kenoi Park, amazing job that the Parks and Recreation do up there. Shannon Paul and his team, amazing. They utilize that park to the fullest. It's awesome. So what I recommend to folks is you got to get connected. Go join a club, go get involved, go volunteer. If you feel disconnected, those are opportunities to connect. So that's all. That's what I can say. I don't know who to direct your question to because it's like, how can we make Pahoa more connected? That's like all of us. We got to work on that together. So. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Good luck. Okay. I'm working with brother back there, and then I got you here. Go. No, you, sir. Yeah. Oh, there. Main Street Pahoa Association is going to answer your question. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's a good question. That's a good question. Is that your question, or you just wanted to make a statement? Okay, well, that's a good. All right, go. Yeah. We added some to the budget. Yeah, this. Can I ask? Where's my bill? Bill, where you at? Come over here, right there. Budget. How much? I'm just curious. So no, because we know that, right? Because the police have been like, hey, we need more police officers in Puna. So I believe we added. I don't know how much, but go. Man.
Yeah, good evening. Public safety is very important to the administration, a top priority. And we did add, I believe, 3 police officers in Puna during this budget cycle as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we added. Had one question went backwards, so someplace back. Yeah, man. Go ahead with the black. Vicky? Yeah. Yeah. They're not coming back? No, they got the restaurant permit. I talked to Ikaika. Yeah, now he's waiting for his contractors. So we're waiting on him, actually. I told him, open them up. He said, July 4th, July 4th. Let's go. You know what I was sad? I was sad about Smash Daddies. What happened to them? They were so good. I just went by today. They're closing. They were horrible. What? Expensive? Oh. Oh, maybe that's why they're not existent. Oh, well. Okay. I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm over here now. Okay, right here, brother. Brother Mark.
Mark, how are you? I guess this is an ongoing issue and we know about it. Abandoned vehicles.
Abandoned vehicles for the video, guys. Abandoned vehicles. Yeah. Thank you. I saw that. We drove down and so I asked Craig, because we did Ocean View. Every place we went, the abandoned vehicle question came up. So I asked Craig, I said, Craig, because they get an abandoned vehicle program right now, if you can share that a little while. But I asked them, how much abandoned vehicles on the whole island? You know, and we kind of came up with an estimate because it's hard to tell, but it could be as high as 20,000 abandoned vehicles. Like every 5 houses get at least one. My house get 2, so I just made up for another house. So it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So, Craig, is there a program?
Yeah, so we have the abandoned vehicles program where they take 2 vehicles from the property. And then we have flyers outside to sign up and give out. And we can talk more about it to get more out into the community to get more.
And it's a recent program, so 2 abandoned vehicles per house or?
Per property. And
per property.
We're looking at increasing it.
Yeah.
Just to get more stuff off.
Hey, we're even looking at like one grant, so we think, okay, how far can $1 million go? Like, so if you figure, I don't know, $300 a toll, or maybe divide them by 1 million. What is that? Somebody math. 1,000 cars. No. But something like that. But it's like, to me, it's a public health issue. That's why you get animals living in there, cats, dogs, people. So it's not good. So we're working on that. Yeah. Why they burn them? I have no idea. But we're trying to get the machine that smash them, so that crush them, and maybe we can make housing out of them. I don't know. Okay, I'm working my way. Thank you, Mark. Brother, right there, Les. Okay, number 3 on the agenda. Yeah, right outside of Kea'au.
What I was upset about, which we most need, is an emergency room.
Yeah.
No emergency room.
I agree.
I thought for sure that's what it would be.
I agree. That's what I wanted. Yeah.
That's what we need down here.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I agree. That's why at Bay Clinic, I was pushing for that. Because Kea'au High School, you notice all that property that, like, when emergency right there, so that could feed all Pahoa, all Mountain View, possibly. But if they don't can, we'll just go back to Steve Sparks, and maybe we can get one closer to Pahoa. And that's why I think that they're pushing for that hospital. We need an emergency. Because you get a heart attack in Kalapana, you're not going to make them all the way to Hilo. I don't know. So I'm with you. Okay, back there. Go, man. Yep.
And I'm trying to figure out which question is most important. I think when we brought up mental health and our community, my question is, will you help us create a safe swimming area for the new coastline? And can we get trails for safety for when the community comes down there and starts fishing and finding places down there?
Like before.
We can have emergency access and lifeguards.
Like before. Yeah.
All of these people too.
I love that. I love that idea. That's mental health too, right there. Yeah, we're with you. You got full agreement. Go with the sister in the back. Go. Hello.
My name is Alia. Born and raised here in Kaleohano. My question is, we have a county park down there. It's on state land, but there is a county park.
Okay.
We have allocated money for the park.
Okay.
This is on Highway 137, the Kea'au homestead.
Mm.
We need
Mm.
So we need that money, and I want to know
Okay.
where did you get that money? Because I got emails 5 years back about this money. Nothing's happened.
Okay, okay. So that's the state. So I can tell you, so we got also plenty of emails about Isaac Hale bathroom. You know, that's not working too. So we did allocate funding for that. So we know we're going to fix that within my term. But what about the bathroom in Kalapana? Is that county too? That's ours? Clayton, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know,
was you.
again, we got to look into the funding for that particular project. So that would be, you know. Yeah, an appropriation and money that is actually there is two different things. So we got to look if that's an appropriation or if there's actual money inside of the account to go ahead and do it. But what I'm thinking is that's an appropriation that was created to put money into for that particular project. I don't see that money. If not, it would show up in our budget altogether.
Yeah, I didn't see it because I'm a big bathroom guy. Like when I got elected, I was like, hey, I like fix the bathrooms because to me that's like one human right: air, water, and I gotta go bathroom. Okay, like that's major, right? So we need bathrooms. That's why. So we get 8 bathrooms we selected for this budget cycle, but I never hear about that bathroom. So okay, okay, okay. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Right. And we don't like just use potties, right? I didn't even know what was a potty. I wasn't raised with that. That was like new. Like we always had bathroom. Yeah. Yeah. No, thank you for asking. And now you put them on the radar, so we get that on the radar. That's perfect. Hey, you never wasted your gas. I'm glad you came.
You.
Yeah, I'm glad you came.
Mm.
I good. Yeah, Keaʻau, yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah, a lot of. Right. Yeah. Thank you, sister. You know, plenty of people. Thank you for that. You know, a lot of people think that the homeless is all from the mainland and they're just coming, you know, one way ticket, and that is true. That's like about maybe 25%, but 75% that's local people. You know, that's our people. And many times that's mental health issues or addiction. You know, so you know, Pahoa is everything, right? So we try to be connected to everybody, and so appreciate that advocacy. Okay, I'm gonna go right there, sister, in the red, and then we go back in the blue, and then right there. You can be. Okay, go. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, so Jeff, you want to take a stab at that? Okay, so the question for the video is this connectivity. Could you repeat the question so the video you can answer them?
My understanding, the question is regarding the Puna Community Development Plan's alignment of the connector roads. I believe this is railroad. Is that upper? Ainaloa. So Ainaloa and Hawaiian Acres. Correct.
Orchid land. All that upper
You're
lower.
going all the way.
Okay.
Yeah. I personally don't know where we're at with the entire connectivity. I know just personally that you can drive up Ainaloa, connect to Hawaiian Acres, go all the way up to Fern Acres. You run into problems. You can. It's difficult. It's not like it's a main road. There are back roads. You can connect even from Foreign Forest to Eden Rock and then find your way through there. But again, that's not the solution as far as connectivity through all the subdivisions. So that's something I need to check into. What I can do is get your number and then look at, talk to our community development planners and be able to give you more information on that. Real quick,
Go.
Mayor. So before I came tonight, I did chat GPT and I asked, what was Eileen gonna be looking at tonight? And so I got her list and we brought a brochure for you folks on the Kilauea eruption recovery. It gives you all the information. It's very informational in regards to all aspects to the Kilauea recovery.
I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
Eileen.
It's right outside.
Wait,
when we're done.
Eileen, I gotta go here, and then if we get chance, I can go back. So hold on. Okay, yeah, Kathy. No, sorry. Oh no, I was gonna go with brother back there. Yeah, in blue. Go. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for inviting us.
I'm a 25-year resident of Main Street, Pahoa.
Okay.
I live in one of those shacks that you drove by to get there. And just, I'm going to give an observation and then a quick question. Pahoa was falling apart when I came here 25 years ago. However, the cash and carry was thriving.
Mm-hmm.
Our flagship restaurant, the King,
Mm-hmm.
was the cornerstone.
Oh yeah, the Kings.
And Salvador would leave the gates open, so we'd all park there at night, go to the bar, go shopping. He was very free with that.
Yeah.
Then we acquired Woodland Center, Honokaʻa, and all the wonderful things that we acquired.
Okay.
And it's been wonderful. But our center of town is
Mm.
completely decaying.
Ah.
And from speaking to the store owners that present and past, which there were many, you can't drive through Pahoa and just park quickly and jump out and get something from the bakery.
Mm.
It becomes a project to
Mm.
find parking.
Mm-mm.
So you're going to go to that
Mm.
or Woodland Center.
Mm.
Just compare us briefly to Honokaʻa. Both towns were in the same status, a local general store. Honokaʻa had no bars like South.
Okay.
But Honokaʻa is thriving.
Yeah, yeah.
And it has good parking.
Parking.
On both sides of the street, in my view.
Yeah.
All the way down Honokaʻa.
Okay.
And it's not wonderful. I'm here to represent the cake here. I don't see enough cake here. Gotcha. We need a sidewalk.
Sidewalks. I know. Yeah, Gregor was talking about sidewalks. We need sidewalks. Yeah.
So many children are walking
Yeah.
to get to the bus stop.
Right.
And they're, I mean, if none of you have done it, try and get from the post office to the high school. It's blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You gotta cross the street several times or you're in mud. It's really toxic for our
I hear you.
Nancy, who lives next door to me, and a tutu, and she takes care of her grandchildren, and I just really releases them.
Mhm.
From the elementary school, we walk down our street right here.
Okay.
Has no sidewalk. Are there any plans for a sidewalk?
Plans for a sidewalk. Okay. Okay.
One
All right. For the video over there, are there any plans for sidewalks in Pahoa? I know Gregor and I talked about it. I don't know if Greg might have a question. I mean, it's kind of like state-county partnership. We was thinking, yeah? So he can shed some light on our conversation. So people know that, county and state, we're trying to work together. We're trying to work together, okay? Okay, go.
So regarding the alternate route, it's really what derailed the funding for this sidewalk was if that money in 2021 would have just been able to move forward, I would had actually tried to get us some matching funding from the state to do some sort of sidewalk project. However, because we lost that money, I had to refocus my shift and go back to the alternate route. Because in 2021, alternate route was the number one. And then the Puhiki boat ramp was number two, which we're having a blessing on June 9th at 9 p.m. I think Aunty Kule is here, who has been working very hard in helping with that. So please, let's give her a round of applause. And then on 2023, alternate route again, and 2024, alternate route again. So I had to refocus and not go with the sidewalk because I needed to use all my influence to get that money. So I hope in 2025, next legislative session, maybe that could be a big project. But you all need to come to the town hall and vote for that. Because if it's not up there, it's kind of hard to push. So sidewalk.
Thank you, Gregor. It's a state issue on that one, but we're willing to partner for sure. Okay, Betty. Right.
That are in violation of present codes. And we're wondering, as a community, and I represent Neighborhood Watch, what we can do about this.
Okay, let me repeat it for the video. So this is a question on violators of building codes, and they get their dwelling, they're building a couple other houses, maybe it's not even permitted. I'm not sure. Take it away, Jeff.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Jeff with the Planning Department. I have met with several members of the community, and we did hear from you at the Kea'au community meeting. We have requested for people to submit complaints to us, which we have received a number of complaints. Our inspectors have gone out. I just recently signed our first notice of violation for that particular activity, which basically is a developer is purchasing a lot, building two dwellings, two-story, and they're making them into two duplexes. So 4 dwellings instead of just the allowed 2 dwellings. And so our inspector went out, observed that activity, and we have issued a violation. The violation normally has fines and it has corrective action, which includes removing the second kitchen in each of the dwellings. So it's also what's going to be tough, and I'm not sure particularly in this situation, is if they have been rented out individually, that really puts a strain on somebody that's going to have to be removed in those dwellings. So that's a tough thing too, not only for the community, but also for the people that have been put in this situation and now have to be displaced. But again, what we need is complaints to identify where this is happening, and then we can have our inspectors follow up. Thank you.
Thank you, Betty, for that. I'm here now, and this is the last row. We're not going backwards. You might have come in late. We went one way. We no more time to go back. I look, it's already 7:42. I want you guys time to hit up each director if you got to. Okay, but right here, Kule. Aloha. Thank you.
First, I want to thank you for making excellent choices in your department heads. I know many of them, and some I call friends. They are excellent and have expertise in their respective areas. Well done. I'd like to share with you that After the historic eruption of 2018, we have had a long, arduous process of getting our puna back to an economic community, and also just our basic infrastructure is really critical for people that still need to get back to their homes, as an example. To address what Smiley said, we've been working, and first, let me thank Gregor. If it wasn't for Gregor.
Thank you, Gregor.
And our state senator, Joyce and Buenaventura, our boat ramp would not have happened without their support. It's been 6.5 years since we first started working with Gil and Arnold, and they will be with us on Monday to start the process of dredging our boat ramp and restoring our fishing village.
Nice.
I'm very concerned with our restoration of not only roads and water, and I have to say, your water team is pretty good too. They're excellent guys. And I'm thankful to have Clayton here for our park. Our park restoration is very important for our taking. And to address what Miley brought up, I would like to ask for your support in working with DLNR within the near future to identify areas along our new coastline to obtain access.
Yeah.
I've already worked with Dawn Chang, and she's terrific. They're willing and able to deed over accretion lands to the county.
Oh, wow.
But we need the county to make the overtures then.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll be able to get at least 3 or 4 new places
Nice.
prior to the roads opening. Once our roads are open again, our visitors and residents alike are concerned for safety reasons.
Yeah.
And I would really like to thank you for being here with us this evening.
Thank you, Gule.
And my last request is to please bring our infrastructure restoration to the forefront so that we can continue to thrive in Puna like we have.
Yes.
My family for 6 generations. And I would like to thank our community for their patience, understanding, and willingness to work with our county
Wow.
as we go forward.
I love that. You like work for the county? We get some applications. Hey, thank you so much. Right on. Thank you, Aunty Kule.
I sit as your RCA co-chair for the built environment. I volunteer.
Oh.
And I work with lovely Keck over there too.
Okay.
So your eruption recovery department, Mr. Darrell, has been exemplary. Thank you. And it's a tough job for them.
Thank you, Auntie. Okay, we got a couple more questions over here. Oh, I'm going to go over here first, and Auntie Luana next. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, she get one too. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm here.
You got a question?
I work for the county, but I'm here as a resident of Puna.
Okay.
My name is Shannon Matson. I have one really quick question about tires.
Tires.
About cars.
Yeah.
I just pulled. For those of you who can't tell, I'm very high right now, and I just pulled 8 tires out of the bushes on my street that someone dumped, and I really would love to turn them in. And I know we had a big tire turn-in. I'm hoping that we can do one again because mosquitoes, right? Administrator was talking about all the mosquitoes.
Yeah.
There's so much water pooling in them, so I would love to be able to turn them in and not have to pay out of pocket. Because it wasn't my Opala, but now it's my responsibility, and I'd like to be able to.
I love that. Thank you, Shannon.
I have another question if you let me.
Oh, I don't know. But since you work for county, maybe. Tires.
Yeah,
Go.
so the tires, we're looking at different events again, different places.
Okay.
So like at the one at Kea'au, we collected 23 roll-offs of tires.
What does that mean? Roll-offs?
The
the mats in.
The roll-off bins.
Oh yeah, the roll-off bins. Oh. Oh, 22 of them.
Yeah, 23.
Wow. I wish it was connected to the cars. That would be
So
awesome.
we're looking at different areas to
Okay.
put an event.
Thank you. Sure. One more question since you work for the county and you're super hard worker.
So today the county council just approved mayor's budget. He's still got to sign it. There were some small amendments, but nothing major, so I think he's probably going to sign it.
Nice.
And thanks to everybody here who's worked so hard on the budget. All the departments worked on it. Something that didn't make it into the budget is food security.
Food security, yeah.
And to me, that's just heartbreaking because what I do is food distribution.
Right.
And I think most of us know somebody who is hungry, who has had to go to the food basket, who's had to either help with food distribution, help out for Keiki. And I heard you talk when you got elected at a town hall here even about what happens when the boat stops.
Right.
And so the budget is the priority, and I don't want anyone else to answer it because because I know everybody else is on the hot seat
Yes.
at council, but how do you prioritize food security when
Mhm.
that's not a line item in your budget?
Mhm.
What can you do as
Mhm.
our mayor, as our leader here to help support food
Right, right.
security?
Well, I can answer that. First, you got to support our farmers. Okay, we got to support, and we have programs that support our farmers. We've allocated many dollars to our farmers, number one. Number two, the budget item was $2 million. And I was telling the Councilman Kajiwara, because she's nervous a little bit about the feds making cuts and this and that, and I got you. But the cuts right now is impacting housing, and it's impacting maybe a little bit trans, but it's not impacting anything else, because most of our budget comes from property taxes. So like we can survive still yet. And that's why I'm so happy to get the Pacific Ocean to protect us from the craziness on the continent. Okay, so all right, but here's the deal. That $2 million gotta come from someplace else. So which bathroom we're not gonna fix? Which park we're gonna neglect for that? Which road we're gonna not look at? You know what I mean? It's hard to balance the budget, because I want to make sure everybody gets something in every community. You know, I get 7 kids, I get plenty of practice. Every kid got to have something. We get 9 districts. I'm working real hard to make sure every district gets something. So when I looked at the food security issue, I met with our research and development. I asked them what kind of programs get. I know we're working with farmers. I know we're supporting our farmers. Okay, so I felt like we can do it without taking from somebody else, without taking from another community. And that's my answer to that question. But Dennis, you like share a little bit about our programs in research and development?
Yeah, so as shared today at the budget hearing, the county has given out $5.2 million in the past year to support agriculture and food systems. That is not an insignificant amount of money. Although that money did come from the federal government, we did our best as the county to get that money out to your neighbors, to the farmers markets, to those people who are producing the food that you all eat. So we do have programs within our budget and within our department that does affect agriculture, that does affect food systems and food security. What was introduced today is, I appreciate Councilmember Kagiwara for introducing that amendment. What we need to do as a county is to be responsible for the taxpayer dollars that come to us, right? And so it may be a great opportunity to do a stopgap to help with federal funding, but what we have to do is come up with a plan. We can't just give $2 million out. We're not measuring what the impact is.
Mm-hmm.
So what our suggestion is to have a good, long discussion to figure out if we do implement that type of money, how do we get it out to the people? How do we measure impact? Do we know that it's truly going to be for food security?
Thank you, Dennis. Hey, I'd like to ask Clayton for a quick one. Oh, where's my? It's okay.
Yeah,
I got him.
real quickly too. Under Parks and Recreation, we have our nutrition program under our elderly activities division. And since 2020, because of COVID, many of our numbers in our nutrition sites have gone down. And we haven't recovered completely on our numbers at our nutrition sites throughout the whole island, actually. And so even with federal cuts to the budgets, one of the budgets that we still have good enough money for is our nutrition program and our congregate meal sites island-wide. And we'd like to, encourage our kupuna and seniors out there to come out to our congregate meal sites, because we have room for them to come. I know the cost of food is just tremendous out there. If you go buy on plate lunch, it can cost you like $17 for the plate lunch today. But our kupuna can get that food, for free at the kupuna congregate meal site. And it's not only about the meal at the meal sites, it's about also the socialization of our kupuna, keeping their mind sharp, right? Being able for a talk story, have educational activities, have some physical activities as well too, but it's kind of well-rounded. But the food part, we get room in our congregate meal sites for our kupuna to come. So yeah, we welcome you to come and participate in our program as well too.
Yeah, thank you. So, Clayton, real quick, Clayton, before we pass them on, how Kupuna can find out about that besides just calling the Aging Disability Resource Center or calling Parks and Recreation? Is there something online? We'll find out like where they go and how you sign up? Or?
Yeah, actually there is online for our Elderly Activities Division under Parks
So you
and
go under
Recreation.
Parks,
Yes.
Elderly Activities Division, Nutrition Program?
Nutrition program, actually.
Okay.
And we do have a nutrition program, that is separate from, our other programs that are out there.
Yeah.
Coordinated Services is our transportation program that also provides transportation out there that is also federally funded. But in our budget from the federal government, I used to be at Aging before I came to Parks and Recreation, and I was Parks and Recreation before I went to Aging. So kind of interesting background that I have. But the federal budget, we're good for the next couple of years, actually, in our budgets for the elderly program. So even with the cuts that we're experiencing on the mainland right now, we're still good here on our island in our state. So
Right.
you can come to, you can go to the site and,
Right.
and register online, but you can also go to the Office of Aging. They have an ADRC staff, which is your Aging and Disability Resource staff, and they do intake as well too. So you got to register for the program because those numbers count towards us getting federal dollars as well too. So anyway,
Thank you, Clayton.
That's kind of how it works.
Hey, Clayton almost said United States. We're gonna be, you guys saw, we're gonna be our own country pretty soon, Hawaii. Okay, she gonna ask us, yeah, but she said she'd like ask me private. Oh, okay, you got a question? Yeah, go ahead. What's your question? Go ahead. No, I'm gonna repeat your question. Go ahead.
Do you have a task force for the growing mentally ill,
Mhm.
homeless, drug addicted?
Yeah. Do we have a task force for those who get mental illness, who get addicted to drugs, growing, and then they end up homeless? Yeah. So we have a homeless task force that addresses that. We gotta address mental health and addiction. So our homeless task force does address that, and Erin Samura is kind of like the liaison for that. Yeah, Erin in the back. Yeah, you can see her. You can talk stories with her. Yeah. Yes, we have a liaison. So, okay, last question. Before you guys can hit up any one of those directors. You like to talk to the water guy, he's waiting. You like to talk to animal control, he's waiting. Housing, okay, go. What's your last question?
I lived on Pohiki Road till 2018. I lost my place. It's still there, but I can't get home. I didn't see the flyer out there, but I'm just wondering what's going on. It's been in litigation now for over a year. Me and my neighbors were stuck.
Where we at? Pohiki Road. He wants to get home.
Supposed to be the first road that was going to get done in this whole plan, and now we're the last ones.
Supposed to be the first road.
So I know PGB's been holding us up, the Poho Land Group's been holding us up. It's in litigation.
We're fortunate tonight to have Sherry Tavares here. She's a deputy corporation counsel, and she's actually the attorney assigned to that case. So I'll let her give a quick.
About our road, Pohiki, what's the update? Any updates?
I've been waiting all night for this question, and then I was talking while you were asking it. So I'm sorry,
One
can
more
you
time.
just?
Pohiki Road.
We're wondering when we're going to be able to get home. When's the road going to go back in? When's the litigation going to be over? When's the supposed eminent domain going to happen? We've all signed our paperwork. We're ready to move on.
Yeah.
And we want to know.
Like be too far from there. So if you close them, make them realize that they gotta hurry up. If you far, they can take forever.
And we're struggling. We've got PTSD. We've got all kinds of issues when this happens to us. And here we are fighting. We're still fighting. We want to go home.
What's the status? Take it away.
Well, first, I'd like to thank you for your patience, and the county has been fighting to get this project going. Right now, thankfully, our current administration, especially Mayor Alameda, has been working with, obviously, the one individual who's kind of holding us up.
Yeah.
But the Department of Public Works has issued the contract, and we're hopeful that maybe within the next 30 days, we'll be able to issue the notice to proceed so that work on Pohiki Road can be done. That is where we're at and why the hearing got continued yesterday, because we continue to work hard, because we truly are fighting for you, the people of Puna, who need that access road. And so I can't give you an exact date, However, we are, rather than going through trial and appeals
Right.
and things that could take years, we
would have
are
been
working
longer.
really hard on
Right.
getting a final solution to put an end to all of the litigation.
So let me answer that. So there's an individual that his property got to be worked through. The prior administration wanted to take him to court, everything, this big fight. He was an uncle. I said, hey, uncle, come, we go talk story. He's Native Hawaiian. I said, we can settle this. We don't got to settle this in the courts right now because you're going to court going to be forever. More long you're going to wait, my friend. So what we're doing is we just negotiating right there, man to man. And I sent them to corp counsel, and they're getting real close for close that agreement. So that's what this administration does. Okay, we can communicate and we can get it done real quick. Thank you for that question. Hey, this is an awesome talk story. I think I even you get Gregor thinking, wow, this talk stories was better than mine. You know, so hey, if you get a police question, we got assistant chief here. You got a water question, animal control. You got housing, Kea'au here. You got anything to talk about the environment, sustainability. Laura's here. Of course, you can hit up Zach for trans questions. You got Chief Todd's here. Anything about fire control or anything fire mitigation, Chief's got it. You know Jeff. Talmadge from Civil Defense. Our engineer, Merrick. You guys never ask Uncle Wesley anything over here. Wesley, right? With our environmental management. You get IT. Our corp counsel, I mean, they are here. You get finance, HR with Summer, Clayton with Parks, and you get Benson with research and development. We're going to spend another 20 minutes hanging out. Hit them up with whatever your questions you get. Get refreshments outside. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Aloha!